Well, I used to be a person who kept a routine. Back when I was working, back when life made sense, I was always ready to go up early for my shift. If I was in at a certain time to be in at work, you could guarantee that I would be in the area 20 minutes earlier. If I really, really liked my job, I would actually be in the building and possibility of actually working before my scheduled shift were to start. And same with home time. I wouldn't just leave at 4 o'clock because my shift was over. I would sometimes stay an extra hour or so until the manager would come and say, hey, go home. We called somebody in that'll cover the shift. They'll be here in 15 minutes. And as life became more and more crazy, my routines as waking up at a certain time, going to bed at a certain time, watching the evening news, eating supper, editing videos at a certain time, spending time with family, on these days, everything that was a routine, wearing certain brands of clothes, certain brands of shoes, shopping at certain stores, all that routine, all that consistency kind of went out the window. Everything became chaotic. And when things became chaotic, like no longer working, no longer had the family time like I used to, I still would go out and have outings every couple of days in retail stores, whether it was grocery stores, hardware stores, the mall, just to walk around, just to be around people, just to be out. I would get up in the morning, make myself a coffee, relax, edit some videos, maybe shoot some content, get on with the day, have a quiet morning, go out, have a little bit of an outing, maybe a walk in the park, and a routine. But over the last 8 months to a year, when everything became chaotic in the world, they didn't want you in the retail stores. They would turn you away. They would, avoid you and make you feel like some kind of prisoner. So I quit doing my my retail store walks, and when I did, when I used to do those walks, I would buy groceries that I needed or was running low of, because so that way I wasn't just loitering, in their stores. Like, I wasn't just walking around for nothing. I was doing stuff while I was there. And that became less and less because it was no longer comfortable to be in those environments with those unhappy people. And I used to go for walks in the park, but as all that was shut down, parks were closed, playground equipment was closed, you couldn't walk in parks because suddenly the outdoors wasn't safe to be in. But big box retail stores, you could have 100 or 200 people in close proximity to each other, touching everything, and that would be perfectly fine. So I kind of just denned up, stayed to myself, started staying up late, started sleeping in early, started eating junk food, shopping at the corner store and buying fried or pre-packaged, preservative, frozen garbage food just because it was at hand and they were open at, midnight or 1:30 in the morning. And it became a cycle of stuff started to affect me even more than it already had, started to cause more issues than it already had. And I tried to break free, tried to stop, tried to change. It takes it takes a lot of small changes to get the ball rolling again. You know, stop going to the corner store at midnight, start sleeping a little better, maybe cutting back on caffeine if that's what's keeping you awake, or even though you got nowhere to go, you know, set an alarm for a reasonable time in the morning, get up, have a water or a coffee, sit on your deck and watch all those people you know, going to work, and just relax for the day, and hold a routine. Try not to sit too much to watch too many content that content creators put up, because if you sit too much, then you start having problems there, right? And you know, even if you just get out and go for a drive, it's a lot better than doing nothing. You can go out on a country back road and walk that country back road if you can't get access to a park, if you're not comfortable in the grocery stores. Once your mind starts to become clear, or clearer than it was, then you are able to think things out a little bit better, a little bit strategically, a little bit more in the right direction than just blindly fumbling your way through and making epic mistakes that you may come to regret later. It's kind of weird how everything goes, kind of weird how routine a person is. People used to be able to set their clocks by me, where I would be, or what route I would drive, or even, like I mentioned there, the brands of clothing that I would buy. I always was almost predictable, and I held that for many years. And you know, like I mentioned there, when things became stressful, those little things that used to keep me happy had to change, or they were forced to change, and then it affected me a lot, affected things in a bad way. Slowly starting to get back into a routine, you know, and maybe eating a little bit better, shopping at some of the stores I used to shop at, going at non-peak times, whether it's first thing in the morning or maybe the last hour before they close if it's not super busy, and you know, buying brands I used to buy, stuff like that kept me happy or made me feel better about myself on the inside. I used to go to the theater every now and again to watch a movie, and that had stopped long before this whole shutdown thing had happened. I used to enjoy camping and stuff like that, but that had stopped long before this shutdown had happened. And this whole shutdown just added to what was already going on. Sometimes it takes a little bit of a person to step back to think what changed, what made everything stop for me. Is it medication? Is it talking to somebody? Is it getting out? Is it something like I mentioned there earlier, simple as a routine, or routines that you used to do that now you feel chaotic because you can no longer do? There are some things that cannot be done still, you know, like going out for family suppers, or loitering in retail stores still. They like you to get in and out because of their limits that they have on it, but doing your best to cope, doing your best to adapt, doing your best to take care of yourself, and doing your best to survive every day. But pretty much, guys, a little bit of a vlog here, kind of some of my thoughts that have been going on. It is what it is, and around we go. And as always, thanks for watching Maxwell's Vlogs. Comment, subscribe. and enjoy.